Hey everyone, welcome back to the Unscripted podcast. This is episode 48. We got Nicholas Kirchner here. We got some really cool stuff that we're about to dive into. Some awesome nuggets that are about to happen as well. Man, I can't wait to dive into this conversation with you, Nick, and to be able just to kind of unpack not only your experience, but how businesses and agencies are able to do what they do. And you're kind of like the consultant to the consultant. So this is interesting, man. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to a good combo.
Oh, fantastic, man. First, I just want to dive in. How did you get to agency? Your first agency?
Yeah.
What was that?
Great question. So I'll make it short for everyone. So I was in college, first year wasn't for me, taught myself online marketing, how to run Facebook ads, dropped out, ended up working in sales for a little bit while I tried to get the agency off the ground, doing media buying for everyone from local businesses to e-com to info products, etc. Kind of found my niche in info products. So that was my first agency, grew it for 2 years, ended up selling it to a larger agency out of Milwaukee, and then rolled over some equity in that deal. So stayed on with that agency for a couple more years, worked with more enterprise clients, larger D2C brands on the media buying and the creative side. And after that, moved out to Denver, launched a D2C brand, as well as the consulting firm that I run now, Hydra. And that's where we really serve agencies, consultants, B2B service providers to help them grow.
Man, that's awesome. And so that's fantastic. And that's kind of where I know you now, right? Is Hydra and really that kind of specialty. But before you even get there, man, like, has sales always kind of been inside you, even as a kid? Like, what did that look like for you? Like, was it just your makeup? Did you kind of rebel from school and you're like, this is not for me and I'm just going to go this route? Or what did that look like for you, kind of like coming up a little bit, and that gave you the roots that you have today that you kind of like how to live by?
Yeah, I think I was always looking for a way to make a buck, right? Like if there was something at a store that I wanted and, my parents were going to buy it for me, I wanted to find a way to make it happen. So my first like quote unquote business was going to estate sales, and I would, have Amazon or eBay out on my phone at the time. And I'd be taking pictures of stuff and being like, all right, what can I flip? Ended up having some good finds there, and then got into reselling sneakers. So, I was a sneakerhead for a little bit, and, so I think it's always been there to some degree of like just the ability to, kind of shape your own reality, build what you want, find a way to get what you want out of life.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah. I have a similar story as well. Like mine was just I was always into something. I was always doing something, right? I was like, oh mom, check this out. Look at this. And she's always like, what else do you got? This is, it's something else every day. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it all comes together at some point. It will come together, but man, that's awesome. And so your first D2C brand, what was that?
So it's called Howl Campfires. It's a portable propane fire pit line. Based in Denver, all U.S. manufactured, and actually ended up getting a patent on some of the technology in Campfires, which is like otherwise pretty rudimentary device. So it was it's cool.
That's awesome. Do you still have that brand today?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude. And how's it doing now?
Great. We're growing year over year, multiple 100% year over year. And, no, it's great. It's a big category. It's ripe for something new. And, I think we do it in a really authentic way and, in something fresh people haven't seen before. So, and man, I think with, as people get more and more connected, they also have the desire to get more and more disconnected. And so,
absolutely.
This line of products really helps people disconnect.
Man, that's a line there, right? Like the more and more people get connected, the more and more people want to get disconnected, right? Yeah. And so in the age of really this how we met on social, right? Like how important is it to you to like to be that way as well, right? To be to know that you're connected, but also going, okay, like I need to check out. Like, what do you have a routine? Do you just kind of roll with the punches?
Yeah, I would like to say that I have something, super nailed down, but I think I'm as bad as anyone. I think if you're an entrepreneur, like you really struggle to get away from it fully because your mind's just always going, right? But I think the more you create space for yourself, the better ideas you come back to the table with, So instead of being always on, I think earlier on in my career, that was always my mentality, but knowing when to rest and how to rest and then come back, that's the ideal spot. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I follow it perfectly, but whenever I do take some time out, usually I'm better for it in some way.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I resonate with you. I think it's not only is it important, but I think I'm creative at heart. And so I can go. And, a long time ago, I kind of put myself in a box. I was like, all right, like you're creative, but if you don't put yourself in a box, then like you're all over the freaking place, right? So you gotta be creative here and don't go out of the box to be creative. But sometimes when I feel like I'm myself kind of getting out of that box of where I've kind of put myself into, I go, okay, I think that's my signal to go, okay, I'm gonna slow down and I'm gonna kind of take it easy, go do something. And usually my hobbies are direct opposite of what I do online. That's not on a computer.
What are your hobbies?
Oh man, I love cars. Right, so
cars.
I'm a huge car guy. I love, man. One of my favorite things to do is literally just drive around the city, and that's how I get my head right for the most part. And so like, there's so many different places here. Like, I mean, you can go an hour west, and it feels like a completely different state that you're in. I'm over here in Texas, over at DFW, and so a lot of what we have is, we don't have mountains by any means. We have really big hills, that people call mountains. But
so as an aside, you're probably tired of seeing this hat.
No, so I love the brand, right? And I love the brand story behind this guy as well. And it's those in the Texas hats, right? So like it's the ones that have like the actual logos on them. I can't remember the brand. I think it's two different brands, but both of them, man, I think it's just, I love anything that kind of captures the essence of like where like somebody lives at, right?
Yeah.
And what that means. And so when I look at that hat, it goes, okay, like Dallas can always be labeled as this tumbleweeds type of place, where that old Dallas show, and it's far from it, right? It's definitely different. So for me, that has like the upside down logo and the upside down words. Is like, okay, like it's different, right? Like there's so much diversity here that it's hard to pinpoint any one thing. Like it's almost like Austin, or it's almost like Denver, right? It depends on where you go, you're gonna get a different vibe,
For sure. Yeah, no,
you'll get
no
that
doubt.
different vibe, man. You know that better than anything, because I mean Denver is majorly diverse.
For sure. Yeah,
right.
I mean, you got all different types of things, and you got the mountain culture, you got ski scene, you got city, kind of do it all in the same day, honestly. So
yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the cool part, right? Like I love when people come here. I'm like, okay, like let's do some stuff that you haven't seen on Yelp, right? Like that's
yeah.
I think we can have a little bit more fun than the top 10 on Yelp. Like, so let's go do those.
Funny. That's funny. Back to the cars for a second though. What's the dream garage? You get 3.
Man, okay. All right, so here we go. It's probably going to be the Ferrari SF90.
Okay.
And then
choice.
We have the I've got the Porsche DC3 RS.
Okay.
Wistek, hopefully.
Okay.
It would be the Wistek, and then third one. Man, I want to have to go 1988 Porsche 911 Targa.
Hyper specific.
Yeah, man. I have my garage like planned out, even more so in that. But I'm really not trying to geek out right now.
I love it. No, I'm curious. It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup.
Yeah, man. What about you? Are you a car guy?
Yeah, I haven't owned a lot of exotic cars, but if I had to pick my lineup, I'd probably have to go with a Koenigsegg, Jesko, or Agera, one of the two.
Okay.
I just love that brand. So looks like so otherworldly to me.
Yes.
Love a G-Wagon. I would take the squared version, if we're just taking whatever. And then the third one, I really like the new V12 Vantages that Aston Martin has out right now. So maybe one of those, like the F1 edition.
Yep.
Those are cool looking cars. So
man, those are sick, man. I love what Aston Martin is doing right now. So I hope they keep going, kind of in that same realm.
So that's probably where I'd be on it. But you probably go way deeper down the rabbit hole.
I'm going back and forth for my next vehicle. I'm going back and forth on I'll probably buy a supercar. So I'm thinking like a McLaren like GT or a McLaren like a 570.
Yeah, that's a good choice as well.
But it has to be all Alcantara in the inside though.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a driver's car in the sense of like
sure
there ain't much in there other than a steering wheel. Yeah, no, it literally, yeah. So the McLaren's definitely high on the list too.
It's just a super fun car to drive. A few years ago I think for a birthday, it was a birthday gift. There's this thing that goes around the country. It's called Extreme Racing. And you go out there and this company goes, so we go to the Texas Motor Speedway. They brought out like 10 different supercars. And then for like a few $100, you're able to drive around the track and like any one of those that you wanted to.
Super cool.
Yeah, I drove the Ferrari 296 and freaking fell in love with it, man. I feel
like it's hard not to fall in love with a Ferrari.
Man, it's for on another level, man. I think a lot of the online world can kind of like diminish a lot of the supercars, like an SVJ or
for sure,
First off, like
because it's so it's just so stereotypical. Like you start making some money. I'm gonna go get the lease, or I'm gonna go pick up a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
probably the Huracan. Or you know what? I remember in like 2016, back when you had like a lot of the drop shipping guys, they would go get the BMW i8, and that was like the drop shipper special. Because it was like
special.
It was like it depreciated super hard. So you could pick them up for like, I don't know what they go for today, but you can get it for like 80, and it's like, for 80, it doesn't look like a bad car, but it was like,
no,
it looked like a $200,000 car to anyone else.
100%, man. That's so funny. The freaking drop shipping special. Oh my gosh. I feel like that's how it is now, right? Like, these guys, they started a DDC company. We start, oh my gosh, SMMA, right? And like SMMA for a long time was just overhyped. And people were just like, wow, you got to get a Lambo. Like that's just like, it's like a rite of passage or something,
Well, and there was almost like a blueprint to it as well, right? Because before, Instagram was still like a little bit early back in 2015, 2016, 2017. I don't want to say early, but like early as far as like where we're at now.
Yep.
And the whole luxury scene and like flexing wasn't completely blown out. So like there was somewhat of a blueprint there where it's like, okay, you start making a little bit of money, you get the car, you start teaching people how to do the thing that got you the car. Then you get more cars, and then people are buying from you because they aspire to have that car.
Oh my gosh. There was this there's this video I was watching at one point, and he was putting on it wasn't a seminar, but it was like a coaching type of like event. And it surfaced around, I would say, I don't know, a few years ago. And the guy was like, the coach was like, hey, like, don't go buy a fucking car, don't go do that, like save your money, do what you need to do. And one guy was like, What do you say to? I had a what do you say? Oh, he had a. I think it was like I want to say like a GT3,
Mhm.
and he goes, I traded in, got a McLaren and a CPM one, who got better, and he
I
goes,
buy it. I believe it.
and he
I
was,
believe it. Unfortunately, I do.
he was like, so realistically, if I get an SVJ,
Yeah, I mean, probably.
it's so it's like and he stunned the coach. The coach was like, man, I don't even know what to even say to that or even why that's it. He goes, that's an algorithm thing. He goes, I have no freaking clue. He's like, there's literally no other reason why that would happen.
Yeah, but there's a cap to it, right? Like you're not going to see a nicer car than an SVJ in an ad. Like
That's true.
I think that's the ceiling.
It really is, right? It really is. Man. Oh man, dude, I want to start diving into that kind of like this agency world now, man, and
Yeah,
kind
let's
of
do
your
it.
world and your expertise, man. When you're working with agencies, man, what's the common theme that you're seeing of why they come to Hydra?
What's the theme I'm seeing with a lot of agencies, you said?
Yeah, like why do they come to you? Like why Hydra? Like why are they coming?
Yeah, so primarily it's either one of two things, right? There's really only two ways to build a service business, and it's get more clients and keep them and make them worth more to you, right? So you have the acquisition and the retention. So typically they're struggling with one of those two things, right? So I don't know how to get clients. I need a predictable way to have a pipeline. I need to close deals, right? That's the most common one by far. Then we have the, more mature agencies that are in that like $2.5 to $5 million a year range. It's like, hey, I'm getting clients, but now my systems and my infrastructure and my team can't keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out how to actually go from doing all this myself to being a leader and being a manager and actually having processes to handle increased scale. So it's usually one of those two things.
Not so with that, right? Because that's I find out in my world, and I think it's the same in a lot of worlds where you're going from doing the work to managing the work, right? Can be a hard shift of letting go to go, well, I see that it's wrong. Like I should just jump in and take care of it, right? Because I know what to do. Are you coaching that out of them, or are you kind of expecting them to kind of build that for themselves?
Yeah. So, consulting is such a funny word because on one hand, delivering expertise and like a proven framework of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I like to say like half therapist because there's a lot of false beliefs that you have to break or bad habits that you have to break. And those aren't always easy to do because you hit the nail on the head. Like the entrepreneurial just want to jump in, play savior, play Superman. I got it. I'm going to do it all. And that just leads to frustration, burnout, and staying stuck. So basically what we do is make sure that it's like, hey, things are going to break throughout this process. And that's a good thing because that is going to reveal to us where the problem lies and what we need to fix. But if you're always being the Band-Aid and being the patch, you never truly see the resiliency of your company. That's why one of my favorite things to do is like have founders take a week off. Like, does the company survive? Do you still make sales? Do you lose clients? Are people freaking out? Like, that is very telling of where a business is at. Because if you can't take a vacation, you really do have a job that might pay extremely well, might be paying you $1 million a year, but it's not a inherently valuable business by traditional standards because it's so reliant on you.
No, 100%. And so, say we have a $5 million a year agency, right? And they're really wanting, and their goal is to reach that, that $10 million, $15 million range. What are the couple of pieces that really get them there, right? Is it the full infrastructure? Is it tweaking a couple things to be sure that deal flow is good, or What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, pipeline has to be really, really strong, right? And for the reason that in any service-based business, you're going to have clients leave, right? And that might be, 5% of your revenue a month, 7%, 9% of your revenue a month. Obviously, the lower that number, the faster your growth compounds, right? However, you have to be outselling that normalized rate of churn to continue to scale. And a lot of people end up getting to maybe $250,000 a month or $500K a month, and they're not able to retain, so they can't grow any further. And it's mostly because they don't have high enough level talent in those leadership seats to continue to guide clients, to continue to lead strategy, and have the same tact and experience as a founder would. So typically it's people who don't have the right talent in those seats. And it's one of the most cliche things, but it's always the people, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to systematize things to the level of the skill of your people. If I bring in a bunch of people from Fortune 500 companies or top Silicon Valley companies that have the track record, well, I just want to hire them and give them a framework of what I want success to look like and let them go, right?
Yep.
Like, don't get in their way, because they're probably better than you. And if they're not better than you, then I turn the question of well, why'd you hire them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because everyone's like, oh, well, my team's not good or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you hired them. So either you made a bad hire or you trained them incorrectly, or, you don't invest the time and resources you need. So that's one thing that if you flip that to the inverse, okay, the agencies that do make it past the 8-figure mark, they've nailed talent development and recruiting, right? Because as agencies, that's really what we do, is we sell skilled labor, right? We sell other people's time. So the better those people are, the easier time you're going to have. So that's one thing. And then the biz dev side just has to be robust, right? If it's just one founder, pipeline's completely dependent on their effort on outreach or content or whatever, that's going to be a tough go, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be more robust than that. You need more than one channel going, ideally some form of paid media that's attracting leads to you, that isn't reliant on your, effort. It's more scalable. And then, typically multiple people in biz dev as well. So some people to qualify the leads, some people to go find the leads, and maybe you're on sales calls as the founder for very marquee or important clients. But those are the common traits I see of people who actually get to 8 figures and above. And one last component I'll add to that is some form of personal brand, some form of content distribution of the founder. And people go back and forth on that a lot, because obviously if you're attracting leads and you want to sell one day and it's all tied up in your personal brand, that can create a problem during the exit process. But if you intend to run an agency for any meaningful amount of time, I feel like that's a hard channel to beat, or a hard medium to beat.
No, I agree. I think the founders, and heck, I would even go as far as the executive teams, right? That are surrounding the founders should have personal brands. I think, I would say I probably started really going hard at it probably 45 days ago, maybe 60 days ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been fruitful, right? I see the benefits, right? I see the type of people that's attracting. I see the type of people that are coming and the exposure it is, right? And I was like, okay, this is now it's starting to make sense, right? But you also said something that kind of caught my eye, where you're only as good as you systemize only good as to your people, and I find that massively true, right? Because I'm in the same business but different industry, right? So I'm on the tech side, data security, enterprise, and government, and I see the same things, right? The biggest things, and what the exact thing that you're talking about, multi-billion-dollar companies have the exact same issue, just multiplied by 100, right? And
Sure.
that's exactly what's happening, right?
Sure.
They don't have the talent, they don't have the people, or the people internally have completely given up because you have too much middleman in between in between doer and executive.
Sure.
And it's always the middle that kind of screws up the process. And I've seen that so many times where you go, okay, like, hey, we've been at this for 4 months, right? And we haven't gotten much progress. And now it's time to have that come to Jesus talk with you about when are you actually going to start putting your money where your mouth is? Because I'm doing it, but you're not, right? And having those hard conversations with them and just going, hey, look, like, either bring in the talent, let us take over the recruiting of the talent, or let's separate. Like, wait, let's just go our separate ways, because, you know, I'm not going to sit here taking money with no value.
Right.
I mean, that's there's no reason for it. And so, and I've always built systems, right? Because I think any company, any business can fall to its own systems, you know. And it's a massive issue where most people think that they have a system until it's tested, right? And most people don't pressure test their systems,
right?
You know. And so we have a thing in tech that we call tabletop exercises, right? And so a lot of times when a company has, we'll say, an incident response plan, like a cybersecurity event, we have to exercise that event and document that per like whatever regulation that may be. So it might look like, okay, VIP executive was infiltrated and somebody downloaded a bunch of IP plans, you know, from them. And so we run that tabletop exercise or that kind of simulation, and we have to go through it and pressure test the system.
Yeah.
Right. And then we document where the wire falls through.
Right.
Right. And 99% of the time it falls through on the executive, because he's like, I got to go somewhere. I have somewhere to be. I'm like, not today. You don't, no, you don't.
Any other time.
Today. You need to.
Any other time. Yeah.
And so, but falling to the pressure of systems and not actually following through on the processes. And so along those same lines, man, how, the companies and the businesses, the agencies that are really doing it, that you're excited to work with because they have the team, they have the people.
Sure.
They just want to put gas on the fire.
Right.
Right. What's different about them versus somebody that has the systems and the processes, but it's not working for them? Like, what's the key difference there? And like, how can somebody go, well, they had the same system I did, or I copied their same system. Like, why is it not working for me?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the teams that move the fastest are all aligned on the same mission. They all understand like why they're there. And there is a culture in place of high performance. Like everyone wants to do better every day. And that's really the difference when everything else is equal. It's what are the attitudes and sentiments of the people on your team? Do you have people that are constantly resistant to change? Do you have people who love change and they thrive in that environment? And that really comes down to like, how congruent are your internal core values with how you actually hire, right? Because I think a lot of people get mixed up where they hire people who aren't ideal fits, but they have such pain to solve the issue, or they need someone to just handle it, but they don't have a clear plan for what that looks like. And they're not vetting for the soft skills and the attitude and the overall career progression of where that person wants to go and matching that with the vision of the company. Right. So that's really the X factor, is it comes down to the people rowing the boat.
And that's awesome. And how many people are at Hydra?
So we have 8.
You have 8. Oh, so small and mighty then.
For sure. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like the last agency I had, grew it to 42 people. It's a lot of people, and that comes with its own unique set of challenges, and a lot of overhead, a lot of everything just gets harder in some ways. Like it gets easier because you have someone to do everything, but it's also just so much more to manage, right? And so for me, I kind of like lower head count, but everyone plays a very integral role. And also those people have upside in what they're doing, right? which is much easier to do with a smaller team. Revenue per head is higher, that kind of a thing. So it's also just how you want to build, right?
No, absolutely. I completely agree. I think building larger teams really, if you're a people manager, go for it, right? If you're tactical, but it doesn't work,
Yeah.
And I think people have this idea of they always want to grow a big company, right? Because I think partly society and what they're looking on Instagram, and then partly because like that's kind of like what they know. Like, I want to build $1 billion company. I want to build that until, I mean, once you get over a certain threshold, I mean, you're a talent manager, and you're like a personality manager at that point, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah, and I think it just comes back to like, what do you actually want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and getting clear on it, man. And so if somebody, let's get tactical, man. If somebody wants, and we're gonna get tactical on two scenarios here. I'm gonna go one more extreme. If someone's going from 0 to 15K, right, and they want to build an agency, what do they need to do?
Yeah. So I think people think that too many things matter at this stage. Really, all that matters is that you have clarity on who you want to serve, what problem you want to solve, and how you're going to do it, right? Once you have that, your only priority should be getting customers. So over half of your day, especially in the beginning, is going to be spent doing outreach, running ads, making content, whatever it might be. A couple hours of the day are going to be thinking about, okay, when I do close a client, what's the onboarding process going to be? What's the fulfillment process going to be? What's the client reporting process going to be? How am I going to communicate with them? Right? The logistics of like fulfilling the work.
Yeah.
But people very much under index on the amount of attention and effort that they should be putting into sales and marketing, because you need that from 0 to 15K, and you need it at 1 to 5 million a month. You know, like it doesn't matter. It's always going to be there. No business has ever existed without sales. So if you're going to choose what to get good at, what to focus majority of your attention on, that's what I would say in the beginning. Then I think it transitions to product and transitions to service. And how are we differentiated? How do I build something world-class so that my existing customers do the marketing for me?
Oh, that's good. That's good, man. I'm kind of thinking on that for a minute, because I think a lot of people get stuck and never get to what you just said, right? They never get to the place where they're building something world-class and a differentiator, right? And then they get stuck in that 15, 20K a month, and there's like, we can't grow anymore. Like, we're like deal flow is okay, but we're just not growing. And I think that piece allows people to go, okay, like, how can I just differentiate myself just enough, or have so much proof built up that it just makes sense that we're the ones to go with, right. that we can get those results. And that's the harder thing to do, right? Like, to be clear, marketing and sales in the beginning is the most important. Later on, it's also the most sexy thing that you can focus on in business, right? It's, how do I get attention, and how do I convert that attention into dollars? The back end stuff, the stuff that actually builds a reputation and builds a brand, that's less fun to do depending on your personality. Some people love that stuff. And that's why they make, great business partners, or that's why you need an operator in the picture, right? But most people neglect that, and it's really hard. Like, we might be talking about, to get that, let's say you're 90% of the way there with your product or service, and you want that last 10%. And let's say it took you 6 months to get to 90% of the potential. It might take you 2 years to squeeze the last 10% out to build something truly world-class, or something that is far and away better, or a fundamentally different experience for the customer. And it's really hard, and that's why so few people do it. And that's why so few people have staying power. Wow. Okay. And that's really enlightening. it gives a clear picture on really where people are dropping the ball, to be completely honest, right?
Yeah.
Like where their focus on to just be at and underestimating. And I can resonate with that as well, of just, underestimating the amount of work that you have to put in up front to make something actually happen, and make it work for you. And to be honest, like other people that are involved, and so how do we generate enough? And that's kind of hard to reverse engineer if you don't know what you're doing, right? Like to go, okay, we want to be at 10,000. How do we reverse engineer that to where I know exactly how much outreach I need to be doing, how much brand and content creation that I need to be doing, right? Like that's a hard thing to reverse engineer if you've never done it before,
Totally.
So you're kind of just like learning through this entire process. And so I think it's extremely important, just to have mentors.
And it's funny that you bring that up. And like, one of the first things we do when we bring someone on board is like, all right, what's the goal? Where do we want to be and why? Okay, cool. We got the goal. Let's back into the numbers that it's going to take, and let's see if the appetite is still the same. Oh, I want to get to 10 million a year. So we plug that into a spreadsheet. It gives us how many leads, calls, and closes they need based on how many leads they get right now, how many sales calls they convert as a percentage, all the KPIs. And it's like, this is what it's going to take. You need, 50 sales calls a month. You need to close 30% of those at a $10,000 a month ticket. Does that seem feasible to you? And, then it just is a rolling forecast of, okay, hey, if we do these things, we should get to our goals. But people really don't break it down, and they say, I want to hit this big number, but it's like, you never look at tactically what it's going to take to get there, but you expect to hit it. And, maybe that's okay for you, maybe, but if you have a team, you can't just expect them to like grow their way there without any compass of like what's working, what's not, and to what degree. Like, what does success actually look like in every role in your company?
Yeah. I think it's important to break that down, right?
Totally.
Especially, and I think it's even more so important, right? Because if we're talking about the 0 to 15K person, right? You might have maybe 1, 2 people on the team, right? Like you guys are starting together. Man, I think it's one thing that I've learned through trial and a lot of error is plan out roles and responsibilities up front and get it right. Right? Don't cross-pollinate them. Like don't do it.
For sure.
It ends so bad.
Yeah. Because I mean, really the only reason to, have partners in something is like skills they don't have or capital that they don't have, zones of genius that you don't have. So it's like, if you're going to overlap, what's the point?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I even think that there might be it might be okay to overlap skills if the other person's like, I don't like this crap. I'm not gonna do it. Like it just I don't. Do I know how to do it? Yeah. Do I enjoy it? 0%.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I think that can work, but you're exactly right. It's when two people enjoy the overlap, then all of a sudden they both have an opinion of how things should be done, and then nothing gets done. Right. And then,
for sure.
And then that's when
there's
you
a
get
couple
like
things too that, I think you can overlap on, like, for example, building brand, right?
Yeah.
I think, any founding team, I think everyone should be creating content. I think everyone should be documenting the process because, you never know what attention is going to end up growing the business. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you well know, like this is a attention economy,
Yeah. Oh, 100% attention economy. Right. And then that's a good segue. So with the attention that it takes to be able to understand how to convert it. How can somebody that's like not doesn't know how to do it, how can they get the most attention that they can get, right? Whether that's a paid media channel or whether that's an organic channel, right? Like what is the best way for someone to get the attention that they need? And what platform do you think is undervalued right now?
Good question. So I think it depends on the business, right?
Yeah.
If you're B2B, I'm going LinkedIn pretty much almost every time.
Yeah.
Right. Money is there. The intent is there. The targeting criteria is there. And you can message people for free. So like, it's pretty hard to lose, with that. And also, content creation obviously is blown up on LinkedIn. And, if someone is struggling to get attention at all, what I would say is just like, what problem do you solve for your customers? And what are the most frequently asked questions around what you do? Just answer those. What did you do this week that you could talk about? Did you have interesting sales calls? Did you have a client situation that you could talk about? Did you win new business? Did you hire somebody new? So a little bit of build in public, but it's really more about, and Gary Vee popularized this years ago, but it's really document over create, and I think most people downplay what they're doing and they don't think it's interesting to them, but it might be interesting to the person that you're trying to sell to.
Right.
And that's why you need to do it anyway, whether it's interesting to you or not. It's not for you, right? It's for them. And so that's likely where I would start. And if you take a lot of the sales calls objections that you get or questions that you get, those are the same questions that your ideal prospects that you haven't talked with likely have. Like, I know the top 3 things an agency owner is going to tell me on any sales call I get on any call recording I listen to from our sales team. It's the same thing, right? So it's like, I take that back to marketing and back to content, and it's like, how can I talk about this to pre-sell the objection? So it's like, yes, I'm getting attention, but I'm also making sales easier for myself.
Right. Yeah, because you're already answering those objections, right? And the goal is to have the least amount of friction going into a call. Yeah, I definitely get that, man. And so, man, I love the way you're putting it. One, because you have deep experience in it, so you understand like it's a natural progression of what you're already doing. But for somebody that is just like getting into this like realm of like, whether it's agency, whether it's any service-based business that takes human capital to be able to scale, is kind of the same route, right?
Right.
And then that's a big thing that I've been that I learned over the years, is that if it takes human capital to scale it, then the less amount of friction that we have going into a sales call, the less amount of friction that we have going into update calls, right? We're able to either, one, sell more, retain better, right? And they'll tell their friends about us.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what you want, right? Like a client referral is probably one of the best referrals you can get.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, referral business is the best. If only it scaled better.
Yeah.
If only everyone had an unlimited amount of people they could send over. That would be great.
It's when I first right before I switched over to the tech industry back in like 2016, 2017, I had like a 10-year career in marketing as well. And so I was doing a bunch of system building for a law firm, and they weren't it wasn't like the pump and dump law firm that you see on the billboards of traffic stops. They're a wealth law firm, and like their average client had a net worth of over $3 million, and they did a bunch of stuff for them in businesses. And I was like, all right, like that's a very niche, but they're always like, hey, let's build a referral, let's build a referral base. And I'm going, okay, how do you quantify that though? Like, how do you quantify if they're good or not, right? Like, if they don't send me a referral a month, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. I was like, this is scale, and so like it took, honestly, probably took good 8-9 months. One, because they're attorneys, and they were like, no, it does scale. It should. I'm like, it should. Yeah, we should start capitalizing and underline for them.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. And like, I've landed some of the biggest deals in my career off of, someone walking me to the table to do a deal. And it's great when you manage it well, but you have to manage those referral partnerships almost like an outside sales team. Like, you have to follow up with them. You have to nurture that relationship to get them to send you business. Like, for example, I don't take any calls with anyone that, DMs me on LinkedIn or whatever. If they're like, hey, I think there's referral partnership opportunities here. I'm like, cool. Tell me who's a good fit for you. You tell me who's a good fit for, like, I'll tell you who's a good fit for me. And we'll start this with a referral. Until that point, there's really no reason for us to like connect, because the amount of people that I've connected with in that way that it's actually resulted in something fruitful is near zero. It's all people that I have a personal relationship with first, and they happen to have a solid or a deep network of people that they're willing to introduce me to. So it's always interesting because everyone wants referral partnerships, but no one wants to send the referral first, or no one wants to like actually kick it off in a meaningful way where it can be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And also too, make it worth their time. Like, we were paying 10 to 15% of our contract value, initially contracted revenue to that person. So, someone that's a salaried position could be making an extra, I don't know, $2-4 grand a month off of just passing, friends over to us to like work with us. And it's like, that's good money for that, like they don't have to do anything.
100%. Yeah. That's huge. I think referrals, like good referral partners, should be heavily incentivized.
For sure.
And we weren't able to do that in the legal industry. It's actually a law that you can't.
Yeah, for sure. As a quick disclaimer, subject to your industry, subject to all of that. But
read the fine print in the laws, right? And so, because I tried that, I guess I was like newbie in law, and I was like, oh, hey, what if we just offered them like 15%, fee, and that was quickly shot down. He was like, Mike, you can't do that. Like, we have what we're regulated. I'm like, crap, regulations.
Yeah. Anyone in the financial industry listening, obviously, just don't pay attention to anything we're talking about. But
what is with what you're doing and how you're doing it? What is a software that you're just like, I can't live without this?
A software? Right now, it's got to be N8N.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, AI agents, AI workflows. Anyone in any service-based business, I think, should be using that heavily, or thinking about the best ways that you can use that, because it's pretty incredible. I've been blown away so far.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I see some of the stuff that you built already, man. So like that's it is incredible, man. I've been building in it a lot, and so I would say it's freaking wild.
My thing is always, this is the worst it's ever going to be.
Yeah, that's a insane mindset, right? Like if you have that mindset, then it's like it's nothing but up from there.
Yeah, and it's wild. It's wild. So much has changed even in the last 2 years. Like ever since GPT-3 really came out, or GPT-4.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it was night and day. Like specifically in the agency world, a lot has changed.
Oh, absolutely, right. And so, and how do you like, man? That's these are perfect segues, man. These I couldn't write these better. With AI entering the agency, right? Like, I mean, there's so much talk, right? I mean, we see it on LinkedIn all the time.
Oh yeah.
All right, who's gonna like? Am I gonna lose my job? Graphic designers are gonna lose their job, or like, how do you navigate those conversations? Does your team have sentiment there as well? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, we get this question from clients a lot too. Like, what am I gonna do here? Like, how should I be thinking about repositioning and all of this? And I've been hearing ever since I got started that this stuff is going to be automated. And I still haven't seen it yet to the point where I'm like, all right, we're in trouble. Do I think we're going to get to that point? I do. I just think it might be a little bit slower than people think. And I think that realistically, and the more upmarket you are, the more this applies to you, because everyone's looking at how to use AI, but look at how slow companies move on anything as they get bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
More people, more bureaucracy, more regulation, more compliance, all this stuff. And so it really depends, I think, on who you serve.
Yep.
And because the rate of change and how quickly people adapt is gonna be subject to that, right? Like, I always related to, there's still Fortune 500 companies right now that don't run Facebook ads. That's been out for 13 years, so it's like, what are we doing? And so, like, all right, it might take another 10 years before that's impacted. It might go way faster than anyone thinks too, because this is more exponential than any other tech. But that's kind of my 2 cents, is like, the people who learn to work with it right now are the people who are going to have staying power for far longer than the people who don't adopt, or they don't understand, or they're stuck in their old ways. And, we're seeing it already, though. Companies hiring less people for things that AI can do. So it's like, if you want to bring value to the marketplace, like, you need to be sufficient in those things,
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think people jump out the gate and start speculation, and technology is going to, AI is going to take over the world and take everybody's jobs and everything. And is it? Yeah, I think so. Right. I think there are jobs that it already has, like secretaries. Yeah. Administrators, anything like that. And even, but I think the people that are doing anything on a high level, I think are almost armored towards it. And then the reason why I say that is AI is still in the age of you get what you put out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I can't sit there, if I go to ChatGPT and I go, build me a Facebook ad, it's going to be crappy as hell. Right. It's going to suck. Or, hey, or if I go to NNN and I have no idea what to do, right? And so you can't pour gas on a fire that's not already lit.
Sure.
And so I think there's a lot of people that believe that it's going to take over, and I think we'll get to a place where we have true agentic AI. Like you said, I think we're a little far from it. I want to say 8 to 10 years from that, but it could be sooner depending on the compound rate of AI, right?
For sure.
It could be 5. But I think we're still far enough away from it where it still takes somebody at a high level to give it that input to be able to generate the high level output.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
it's all dependent on the human input.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people just, people in AI just get me all the time. I scroll through them just going, that's not true. That's not true. Okay. That's not true. Because if we look at enterprises, right? I work with enterprises all the time, and maybe 15 to 20% are truly implementing AI at where it counts, right? And how they're being able to maybe fill roles with that. And that's probably me over speculating, to be honest. But most of the companies that I talk to, and most companies that I'm just in conversations with in general, are going, the risk is too high still, right? The risk is too high to add in AI without the proper boundaries and controls, right? Like how do we prevent oversharing, right? How do I prevent somebody taking all of our IP and throwing it into AI, and then taking a dumped out IP from something agentic and using it? Like there's real risks across the entire board. But I think we're still on the same page where we're there, but we're not there. We're getting there. It's just taking a little bit of time. And so, on that note, with NAN and how are you using it today that that you're just like, okay, this is transformative, and this is really going to allow us to build in a new way. And I say that because I believe that we're getting to a place where people are going to start building agents for unfilled roles.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I'm curious, like, you being on the side that you're on, how are you using that? Are you using it to not only skyrocket your systems and your people, or are you building it because you're like, you know what, wait, we don't need to fill roles here, we're just going to use AI?
Yeah, I'm not quite at the don't need to fill role stage yet. I think you just need less people. I think like everyone on any team that, you know, you could automate a good percentage of the work, like you have 2 to 3 times the capacity per head now. And so I think it's much more about like, how does everyone become somewhat superhuman? And, you know, way less bogged down in the less valuable work, and how do we have them only spend, you know, their human brain power on what AI cannot do, right? So I just think everyone has way more capacity now. So when someone says, hey, I need to fill a role, I'm definitely challenging it of like, can our existing system be better before we add labor to this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I like what you said, because if I'm not mistaken, Jamie Dimon echoed that as well, right? In a company-wide meeting where he said, hey, before you go out and grab more talent, how can we utilize AI internally to do the same thing, or to be able to make it more efficient?
For sure. Yeah. And a lot of people, like, once again, if they're in pain and they have a problem, the easiest thing to do is say, I need somebody else figure it out.
Yeah.
And so they hire somebody, they put them in place, they don't lay out anything, and then they're frustrated that the problem still didn't get solved. And it's like, before you throw labor at something, have you looked at the process? Do you understand the problem? Do we truly need somebody? Are you sure there's nothing else we can do? If all of that is a, you know, yes, I've done all those things, then great. Put the job description up. But until that point, you know, I think it's somewhat irresponsible fiscally to do so, because it's like,
yeah,
there's especially in agencies, people is the number one cost. In any service business, people is the number one cost. So we're uniquely disadvantaged in that way, where it's like our service delivery does not scale like, let's say, SaaS, right? But I think AI is making it more to a point where service delivery scales as easily as some of the other models out there, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It kind of brings it a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Man, this has been awesome. Yeah, so before we head out, I have 2 questions that I ask everybody on the podcast.
Please.
All right, so we have 2 sets of audiences. We have one that's ready to jump out. They want to do something. They don't know how to do it. And they don't know how to take that leap. Maybe they're in a 9 to 5. Maybe they're in the business and they want to get out of that one to do something else, right? They want to take a leap, but they feel stuck. We have another one is they're in it. They're an operator. They're a successful operator, but they feel stuck and they don't know how to get out of that, right? What is your advice to those 2 people?
Sure. So with the first group, I think you have to ask yourself, am I fed up enough with what I'm doing right now that I'm going to make something else work? If the answer is no, I'm not fed up enough, then I think you have some more soul searching to do until you reach that point. Because I think it's very, you know, on brand, it's very trendy, it's very glamorized to go into entrepreneurship. I think many points in my entrepreneurship journey, I could have made superior money working at a company, albeit less freedom, but freedom is subjective also in entrepreneurship, because, you know, you really don't have, you know, the time off or the boundaries around when you're working and not, like you might at your current role. But all that said, you have to be sold on, I'm going to make this work, because if you're not there, it's too hard to make it work, at least in my opinion. And I recommend you always build the business before work and after work. Don't quit the job and go all in. That's it. It sounds cool, but to me, it's foolery, right? Like, I started my agency when I was doing sales. I had something that was paying the bills, because I'm going to be such a better thinker and decision maker and leader if I have my needs met versus every deal has to work. Every client has to close. I'm going to take a bunch of easy money that I shouldn't be taking, that doesn't fit what I actually want to do or build, right? It's a trap that a lot of people fall into. So that would be my advice, is be really, really sold that it's what you want to do. And once that happens, focus on the right things. Don't get caught up in anything that doesn't matter. And we talked a little bit about sales and marketing in the beginning, and then focusing on service delivery and product. That would be the path for that group, in my opinion.
It's awesome,
and then
man.
You said the people who are already in it, but are stuck at a certain point and can't seem to scale past. So going back to the earlier point, it's always the people. It's just because you don't have the right people on the bus. So is your opportunity compelling enough to bring top talent in? How do you make space for them, for their vision to live inside yours, right? How do you make the pie bigger? That's what you need to do to get really good people in your organization. And a lot of people are focused on, I want to own 100% of this thing. I want to make all the money. The top talent just isn't going to come work for a salary. They need to have skin in the game. They need to have upside. These are your entrepreneurs, right? The people who have the same spirit as you do. They just might not have the risk tolerance that you do, right? Which is why they're not doing it themselves. So what I would say, it always comes down to the people, and make sure you audit your time and you understand, what unique value do I provide to the business, and what else is in my calendar, and how can I only spend time on what I'm uniquely valuable at, and systematize, delegate, or automate the rest through having the right people on your team.
I love that. I think that resonates really well with a lot of people, man. So thank you, man. I appreciate your time on here. This has been fantastic. I think there's some good stuff here. And so, yeah,
I appreciate it. It's been a fun chat.
Yeah, absolutely, man.